today it's going to be a pretty deep talk because it's going to be about why you haven't actually grown, why you're kind of stuck in an area and you haven't fully moved to another level because your garden needs some work. And it's funny because I usually don't use Facebook, but I do feel that this conversation, what we're doing here, this is going to be deep. It's going to put people into a lot of thought realm and paradigm shifts and deeper understanding of what's really going on in their life. And so for those of you tuning in, thank you. I know it's kind of late, I'm sorry, but I have made a goal to do these kind of videos on every week. This is actually just a glimpse of what my YouTube video is going to be about later on tonight. So we're going to start off with this. If you're here on the call, close your eyes and just imagine yourself in a garden, right? And as you're in that garden, you look around and you see it's your life. So you're looking around and you see flowers blooming, and then you also see parts that have weeds, and you see thorns, and you see plants wrapping around the flowers that are blooming. All right, so now imagine the roots of those thorns and the roots of those weeds that are just in your life, and they're kind of just destroying the growth of what it is that needs to take place. So as you're doing that, I want you to really focus on, keep your eyes closed and just really look at your garden, and we're going to call the garden your life. So you're looking at your life and look around, and is the soil good? Are you trying to build on top of rocks? And is there a lot more blossoming than there are weeds around? Is there more thorns than there is beauty to the roses? So if you did that, open your eyes. And now the question to ask yourself is, what are those weeds wrapping around your growth? What is it that is hindering your full potential? I don't know if you know this, but in Mexico, there's actually an area. I just came back from Mexico. There's actually an area that they call it God's practical joke, because it's beautiful and there's so much water around, but there's all rock. There's no way of building crops in that area. So you need to look at your life and look at the areas where it's just rock. There's no room for growth. There's no room for prosperity. There's no room for anything to come out of it. And because of that, you will never see the fruition take place. So if your life is one of these gardens where you're just trying to build a foundation on rock, you're never going to break the ground. You're never going to grow. And that's the part that is really difficult for people to realize, that if you're trying to garden on top of rocks, you're asking yourself to be miserable. Because like I said, these people in this town in Mexico, they have to get their crops from another part of town, because where the soil is there, it's all rocks. There's no growth whatsoever. So look at your workplace, look at your life, look at your friends, look at the environment that you have set out for yourself. Is it rocks? Is it just areas that there's no growth that's going to come out of it? Have your friendships just become literally rocks, to the point when you tell them that you want to exercise, they kind of bash and make fun of the idea? The point that you want to innovate ideas, they kind of bash it or tell you, oh, you're crazy. To the point where, do your friends edify you? Do your friends uplift you? Do your coworkers edify you? Do your coworkers uplift you? And look around, and you may think, oh, but it's not all about that. But it is, because if the environment that you are placing yourself in is not an environment for you to grow, then you're trying to garden on top of rocks. And go ahead, get a pile of rocks and try to see how far your crops are going to grow. The reason I'm saying rocks is because those people are solid in their ways. They don't care to grow. They don't care to go anywhere. And unless you're a rock, you'll never fit in with them. But as long as you want your potential to go to another level, as long as you want to keep moving and growing, then something needs to take place. You need to take your garden to another place. You need to start fresh. You need to start new. And until you do that, you will remain frustrated because you know that you're ready to grow, but you're not on soil. You're on top of rocks. And that's pretty much it. That's all I really want to share with you guys. And like I said, if you just close your eyes, look around, look at the garden of your life, and start really focusing on, am I in an area where I'm set to grow, or am I in an area where I'm just literally, there's not going to be any growth until I decide to step out of here. I'm going to finish off with this quote. A pumpkin can be placed inside a jar, and it will never fully grow because it was placed in that area. So what if right now your full potential is limited because of the area that you have decided to stay placed in? And once you step out of that area, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, whether it's a hobby, whatever it is, once you step out of that area, imagine this. You will no longer be limited to the confines of the jar that you have placed yourself in, but you'll be limitless. And the best is yet to come.